Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about something that I say to people all the time. In fact, at the end of every show, I tell everyone to always carry and stay safe until I see them again. And that has caused a lot of people to send me questions regarding always carrying. They're like, are you being literal? Always carry? Of course I'm not being literal as in always carry, like I'm not carrying in the shower or carrying when I'm swimming. I've never seen anyone mugged in the river or anything yet. So no, you don't carry always, but I do believe that when you can physically carry, you should always do it. Now, this brings up a lot of questions with people. They're like, is it really that dangerous out there that you should always carry? And don't some risks come with carry that might outweigh the risk you face in society? Well, I think when we talk about carrying, we have to be very honest. I'm not going to be one of those channels that shows videos of drug interactions, gang interactions, and then portrays it like this could happen to you at any minute. You better go buy a gun. Here's a discount code. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to present extreme examples of violence between probable gang members as something that you're likely to face. In fact, I'm going to admit that as safe as the United States is, there's probably a 99.999 something chance that you're never going to need that gun that you carry every day. You're going to probably spend your entire life carrying it every day and never needing it. So you kind of just wasted a lot of energy. So a lot of people would say, well, there's no point in carrying it if I'm never going to need it. If it's such a small chance that I'll ever need it, why would I go to the effort? And I understand that. I can understand how people say if we live in a society that is so safe, unless you live in very specific areas or you're a member of a gang or something, why should I go to the hassle of carrying? Those same people will also say, aren't there risks involved in carrying? And if we're not facing any real risks while we're out in society, any measurable ones, of any mass amounts, don't the risks of carrying out actually outweigh the benefits of being prepared? And I can understand that too, because that's another thing we have to be honest with about people. When you're carrying, there are inherent risks to having a firearm on you. That's why I always say people carry in a safe manner. Don't point your gun at your penis or anything like that. Not a good idea because, like I said, there are inherent risks carrying a gun. You want to make sure you've got it in the right kind of holster. The trigger is protected. It's not too light of a trigger. You're not carrying it in an inappropriate way or doing anything dangerous with it. Because people, every year, injure themselves seriously with their own carry gun. It happens. Now, is it more often than people get attacked? No, of course it isn't. People are the victim of violent crimes far more often than people carrying actually shoot themselves. But that might make you think, well, then the risk of danger from carrying is way less than the risk of danger presented to you by society. Well, no, the reason far more people are attacked than people that carry, or injure themselves while carrying is because not many people carry. The vast majority of the people that get attacked and hurt don't carry a gun. They're not prepared. So that kind of makes it seem a little different than it actually is. The dangers of carrying are still present. And the dangers of getting attacked are still small. But you got to remember, here's the difference between those dangers that are presented to you by society and the dangers of carrying a gun. You're totally in control of those dangers that come from carrying. Through training, through practice, through being conscientious, through just being a careful person, you can negate the risk to yourself. In fact, if you feel unsafe with a semi-automatic, get a revolver. If you feel unsafe having a round in the chamber, well then get a semi-automatic. Just don't carry a round in the chamber. I'm not going to slam you for that. Because the fact that you have a gun on you still makes you prepared for 99 point something of the percentage of the times that you might need a gun. Like if you're in the mall and someone starts shooting, you can pull your gun and rack it. You know, the only time you probably would be at greater danger if you didn't carry it around in your chamber is if it's an immediate assault on you. And that doesn't happen all that often. So the guy carrying a gun with no round in the chamber is still 1,000 times more prepared than the guy not carrying a gun at all. But like I said, if you're afraid of semiotics, just carry a revolver. Then you're ready to go. So you can, like I said, you can mitigate the risk to yourself. You can make it almost nothing. It's careless people. People that allow themselves to get too comfortable or who have never had proper supervision when they first started handling guns, have never been taught the ropes by anyone. Those are the ones that usually injure themselves and sometimes others with their gun. And that is something you are in control of. You will not have a negligent discharge without you causing it. So as long as you're careful, you'll be safe. All these stories about the gun just went off in my purse or it was just sitting on my desk, they're bullshit. Like that police captain who said his gun was just sitting on his desk and it went off. When they reviewed the video later, he had it in his hand when it went off. He was fucking with it. Then he lied because he didn't want to admit that he fired his gun accidentally or through negligence while in the department. That other cop who was trying to sue Sig because, oh, the gun just went off in my purse. She had a loose gun in her purse with other stuff in her purse that could get into the trigger guard and fire the gun, banging her purse around, and it went off. That's her own negligence and her own stupidity. Like I said, you can negate those things. The things you don't have much control over are the things society might throw at you. You don't get to decide if everybody on the train with you is sane. You don't get to decide if someone decides to jump out at you from behind the bushes while you're walking through the park. Now, you can do things to reduce the risk. Stay out of bad places, stay out of the park at night, be careful when you're on the train, be aware of your surroundings. All those things can help, but when it comes down to it, the person who's more in control of whether something bad happens to you is the person who's going to do the bad thing. So you don't have as much control over that. You can control the risk to yourself from your own gun. You cannot control the crazy person that's going to come at you. And even if the chance of you needing it is very slim, still, the old adage of I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it is still the rule of the land. That is the law of the land. So don't forget that. And also, when you're carrying a gun, the gun you're carrying shouldn't interfere in your daily life. As long as you choose a gun you can easily carry, isn't going to put an undue burden on you, carrying it every day isn't going to be a problem. I carry a full-size 44 Magnum lightweight gun every day. It's pretty large, but never bothers me. If I want to carry something smaller, I'll carry something smaller. So as long as you choose a gun that doesn't physically burden you, you can reduce the risks that come along with carrying a gun yourself, like I said, because you are 100% in control of that. However, the risks society throws at you, you're not in control of. And that can really ruin your day and burden your day if you get attacked or harmed or someone else is harmed and you can't do anything about it. So just remember that. Remember, even though the chances of you needing that gun are slim, and I'll never be one of the people that tries to convince you otherwise, and there are risks to carrying, the situation is completely different when you look at it as I control these risks, the risks from carrying. Those risks I don't control, and as long as my gun is not a burden to me every day, I would much rather be prepared. If something bad does happen, I will make sure I don't have an issue through negligence. That's why it's called negligence and not accidents. You can stop it. So I will deal with that, and I'll be prepared to deal with anything that comes my way from society, no matter how rare that situation may be. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again on Monday when we have a new episode out. Until then, I just want to remind everyone to always carry, because like I said, there is some risk to it, but you control those risks. You don't control the crazy people in society. So always carry, whether you need it or not. Be prepared and stay safe until I see you again.